Hello and welcome to the University Honors Workshop. This presentation is intended to provide an overview of University Honors for those of you whose students have already been accepted into the program. We will begin by introducing ourselves.
Hi, my name is Latoya Ambrose, and I oversee students with last names A through F.
Hi, my name's Dennis McIver, and I'm responsible for students with the last names G through L.
Hi, my name is Jane Kim. I'm responsible for students with last names M through Q.
And I'm Myra Jones, and I'm responsible for students with last names R through Z.
University Honors is a four-year experience which is founded on what we call the three pillars of excellence, which are creativity and innovation, culture of contribution, and diversity and global citizenship. What you need to know is that everything that we do at Honors, everything from our counseling to our programming, is built on these three pillars, and is really meant to encourage students to move out of their comfort zone and allow them to grow.
We put together some data to give you an overview of the honors population. To the left, you can see our gender and college breakdowns. To the right, you can see ethnicity breakdown, which along with the gender and college breakdowns are representative of the split at UCR. Average honors GPA is a 3.7, which is well above the national average. 85% of our students have a 3.5 or higher GPA.
Honors provides a number of academic benefits, and the first is all honors students participate in a learning community as they take the same honors courses with honors students and are housed together if they live on campus. Data also reflects that involvement in learning communities provides from a 0.15 to a 0.3 cumulative GPA bump. Secondly, while not all our classes will be honors courses, honors students have the option to choose an honors version of some courses. These classes have faculty run the discussions instead of a graduate student and are also generally smaller, so they can engage in meaningful dialogue and discussion with each other. Thirdly, priority registration means that honors students can enroll in classes earlier than the rest of the student population, so their chances of getting the classes they need or would like to take are much higher. Due to the number of impacted courses and the limited availability of some courses, getting classes they need in the quarter they would like to enroll in will also help them graduate on time. And lastly, our students are required to complete a capstone during the year they graduate, and this can be research, creative, or experiential activity. So students can write a novel, report on lab research, or even create a documentary. Honors provides course support and mentorship throughout this process, and students can use this experience to help them get into graduate school or provide invaluable experiences that can boost their resume.
In addition to the academic benefits, University Honors also have a number of community benefits. So the first one being faculty interactions, which we have a full-time faculty director and 8 engaged faculty fellows. Also, like Jane mentioned, we have smaller course discussions that are led by professors instead of a TA. And we also have 2 faculty and residents that actually live in the dorms with our students. And then for the student community, we have a pretty close-knit community of less than 800 students when we have over 26,000 students at UCR. In our honors housing, we have specific halls in Pitland for our first years, and for second years and above, we have an honors hall in Glenmore. In addition to that, we also offer personalized advising. We have one-on-one appointments with our honors counselors, and the honors counselors have a smaller caseload, so our appointments tend to be longer than a traditional advising appointment, and the students can meet with us as often as they would like.
In addition to the opportunities that Latoya just mentioned, we also offer a competitive leadership program that is called the University Honors Ambassadors. It allows our students to serve as peer mentors for our new first year students. It also provides a number of different training opportunities to students in the program as well. In return for doing this, students also receive a scholarship, and students who are in good standing with the program would be eligible to apply during the spring quarter of each year. In addition to this, we also offer programming which is developed and led by our faculty members. This can include workshops, field trips, hiking trips, all sorts of different things, and it allows students to connect with each other as well as interact with our faculty members, which is a really important thing to develop during their time at UCR. Finally, University Honors becomes aware of a number of different opportunities that we share not only through counseling, but also through appointments, emails, and social media.
Ariamis is a national interdisciplinary journal housed in honors, and it's the only kind of its kind at UCR. This is another great leadership opportunity that honor students can participate in. Students can join the editorial board for the journal and be involved in the publication process for this high caliber journal. A scholarship is awarded for their work. University Honors also has a media team whose positions have and continue to evolve as media continues to grow and advance. Students interested in things like social media, photography, design, video editing, etc., will find this a great creative outlet to participate in as they gain experience and leadership skills. They are also awarded a scholarship for their work on the media team.
So although we're not currently on campus, we anticipate returning in some form during the fall, and the Honors Office also offers valuable resources to honor students. It's a place they can study for finals and engage with other students, staff, and faculty. We're always on the lookout for fun, engaging, and informative events that can help our students experience the community within and outside of Riverside. And we purchase tickets for students to be able to attend TED conferences, museums, professional development opportunities, and distinguished lecture series.
In addition, we also have our honors scholarships. So our honors offers a number of honors scholarships, and honors funds help support students through their research, traveling abroad, and much more. The scholarship criteria and categories can change from year to year. So it's very important that students pay attention to their email notifications that will contain additional information for the various scholarships being offered and the notification of applicable deadlines.
Students who join University Honors normally have a few different myths that they come into the program with. So we wanted to take some time just to tell you about some of those myths and also give you the actual facts. One myth is that by being in honors courses, you'll have a weighted GPA. The truth is that all courses at UCR are unweighed. You may also have the impression that honors courses are more difficult and will negatively impact grade point averages, when the truth is, as University Honors, as a mandate, we do not require courses by default to be more difficult. Difficulty with these courses, as well as any other, are really determined by faculty members more than anything. You may also have concerns about whether or not honors students will impact the ability for students to graduate on time, when priority registration is something that really assists with students making the best plans to graduate quickly. And on top of that, as a program, we try to work with the students when it comes to navigating their requirements. You may also have the thought that by joining honors, there's automatically a scholarship that will be available, when in fact, students will have opportunities to apply for scholarships, but they typically and almost always have to apply for them or meet some sort of eligibility requirement. There is some work involved in being eligible for and receiving these scholarships. Finally, you may wonder if this costs anything, when in fact, University Honors does not charge anything for students to participate in the program.
So there tends to be a lot of confusion with the word honors and associating it with university honors. Your students will hear about Latin honors. Latin honors is a thing determined by the colleges based on GPA and percentages, but university honors is not in charge of it. Likewise, many honor societies will be reaching out to your students and asking them to join. We are not in charge of all those honor societies or the logistics attached to them. UC Honors is a 4-year program with specific requirements for which your students will receive a notation at the end on their transcript. We are not in charge of your students' housing. Although Honors does provide a living learning community, we do not oversee the logistics of housing. Any questions regarding housing should be directed to the housing department. Honors counselors cannot advise your students on major requirements. We could only advise them on honors requirements. Any questions they may have related to their major requirements should be directed at their academic advisor. We also do not oversee all of your students' undergraduate records. We are one of many departments at UCR who have access to certain data that pertains to university honors. We will do our best to refer your student to the appropriate department when the questions arise. We cannot provide your students' records or information to anyone aside from the student. To do so would violate FERPA law. If a student wishes to give you access to their records, they can enable it in Growl, but even then you would only have limited access and only access to certain information.
A frequent question that comes up is how students are able to stay in honors. So simply put, as long as students complete all the requirements, they will remain in honors. Students can find all the requirements listed on our website and our mandatory online honors orientation, and students are contacted in September with this information and the timeline to satisfy the requirements. There's only two types of honor statuses, good standing and discontinued. As long as student completes requirements, they will remain in good standing, otherwise they would be discontinued. We check statuses at the end of every quarter to ensure requirements are being met, but we only check for GPA at the end of spring. Having said that, we understand that sometimes situations happen that prevent a student from being able to complete a requirement. However, we won't know unless we're informed as soon as possible. So it's the student's responsibility to contact their designated counselor as soon as they identify an issue to complete a requirement. With timely notification, we'll work with your student to resolve the issue if possible or pursue an alternate solution. If a student's discontinued, they have the opportunity to appeal the decision. The faculty director will review the appeal and make a final decision based on the relevant information they provided.
If your student has not been admitted to university honors, admissions for the 2021 and 2022 academic year are now closed. If your student is interested in applying to honors, they will have the opportunity to join and be invited to apply at the end of spring quarter if they have a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or above. For students who are accepted, they will join us beginning their second year at UCR. Information sessions and invitations will go out to eligible students in winter quarter. If you would like more information about honors and how to apply, you can obtain it by attending an advertised information session, visiting our website, or by emailing your inquiry to honors@ucr.edu.
And if you're interested in learning more about university honors, there are a number of different ways you can do so. The most immediate of which would be our website, which is honors.ucr.edu. However, we do have a fairly strong social media presence as well. All of the links are listed here. We do encourage everyone to pay attention to these social media links as they will provide a number of different updates regarding honors as well as chances to further engage with our community.
There are 8 staff currently working in honors. We're available to answer questions via email. Inquiries can be sent to honors@ucr.edu. We recognize that you may have questions about the return to campus may look like. Discussions are currently taking place and decisions will be made throughout the summer. While we may not have all of the answers at this time, we will be providing you with updates as decisions are made. Please visit our website for the most up-to-date information regarding COVID-19 and our return to campus. Thank you very much for your time.